Coming up on the Sports Desk, have you ever considered how much it would cost to own a piece of Laker history? The price tag is actually a lot cheaper than you'd think. Plus, while the playoff heat simmers down a little bit, the future of track and field in Torrance laces up for the Youth Legends track meet. And it's never too early to talk about football. Seriously, never. The El Camino Warriors are back at it. 2012 was a down year at Elko, but they are hungrier than ever with the fall of 2013 right around the corner. All that's coming up and more right here on the Sports Desk. Hey there, Torrance. How's it going? Welcome to another week right here on the Sports Desk with me, your host, Wan Hernandez. So, how'd y'all celebrate Memorial Day? It marks the official kickoff to summer, but of course, some student athletes around the South Bay are still hard at work competing for their championships. In the case of Bishop Montgomery Knights volleyball team, that run at a CIF championship ended in their division finals. Losing to a Del Rey League foe for a third time this spring, the consolation of coming up one game short, a new life. A berth in the SoCal Regional Playoffs. After dominating Crossroads to open up the new tournament, the Knights luck out with a home game against a strong but smaller Northridge Academy. They make quick work of the Pumas on their home court in 3 straight sets, led by Eddie Speck's match-high 13 kills. In fact, the Knights were so dominant in this matchup that the Pumas didn't take one lead the entire evening. Northridge's opening set, 16 points, was the highest tally they could put together against Bishop Montgomery's much larger front line, which sets the Knights up for a finals matchup over the weekend. Francis Parker is the opponent out at Santiago Canyon College. We saw a similar storyline in the CIF Division IV playoffs when Bishop fell early to St. Margaret's in an 0-2 hole, only to climb back out and fight their way to a 3-2 victory over the next 3 sets. So, what good is a SoCal Regional Final without a little drama? 25-19 and 25-13 in the first 2 sets, the Knights getting dominated before they flipped the script. The 5th and final set features 9 ties as late as 14 up. The Knights had a 14-12 lead late before Francis Parker stormed back with it all on the line to take the whole thing. So a strong season wrapped up for the Bishop Montgomery Knights, including 2 deep postseason runs, but all that work amounts to 3 second-place finishes for Bishop Montgomery. Second place in Del Rey League and championship game losses in both the CIF Finals and SoCal Regional Playoffs. But as Bishop Senior Ryan Garcia put it, of course, they wanted those titles, but the Knights, quote, worked hard and gave it 110%, which is all you can do. And in more playoff news, when we wrapped it all up last week, the South Spartans baseball squad were the last men standing in a hunt for a CIF championship banner. Literally, 4 Torrance school baseball teams, 3 softball squads, and 3 volleyball teams all earned postseason berths in tournament play for CIF. And with just 1 week to go in May, the co-champs had parlayed their number 1 seed from the Pioneer League into a final hope for the city of Torrance to hang a championship banner for a team sport this spring. The first round game against Estancia was a 7-2 blowout, with all the signs pointing towards the Spartans getting on a serious hot streak as we all neared summer. But the second round wasn't so kind for South High. In fact, as baseball can sometimes go, the ending was outright brutal for the Spartans. Down 4-2 in the top of the 7th, just 3 outs left or their season would be over. Kyle Hemney drives in 2 runs with a double to tie it up. The go-ahead run, Josh Rotuna tried to stretch the play and take the lead for South, but a collision at home plate leads to multiple decisions. The home plate umpire ruled Rotuna out, then safe after noticing that Vikings catcher Gabe Rojo had dropped the ball, then out again when a field umpire ruled Rotuna had never even touched home plate. So with the tie ball game in the bottom half of the last frame, Northview comes up and scores the 1 run they needed to walk off the field, and they send the South Spartans home before the quarterfinals of the CIF playoffs. And now that all our team sports are wrapped up for the school year, with just a few more weeks to go before everybody gets to turn it in for summer, when we all come back come fall 2014, things around Torrance won't look the same anymore. I'm speaking of league realignment, of course. The South Bay Athletic Association has approved a proposal that will have the Torrance Tartars, the South Spartans, the North Saxons, and now the West Warriors all in the Pioneer League together. Of course, the only Torrance school making a change is West High, giving all 4 Torrance schools a chance to play in each sport with league standings on the line each year. But it also creates the reality that at least one school will likely be on the outside looking in come playoff time each season. According to the new proposal, El Segundo will leave the Pioneer League to make way for West, but all of this dependent on CIF approval now that the South Bay Athletic Association has made their vote. If the realignment goes through, it will take place in the 2014-2015 school year. Okay, everybody, coming up after the break, sometimes if you want to become a champion, you gotta get started early on. The South Bay offering youngsters a chance to lace up and get on the track well before most athletes get introduced to track and field events. And it's all going down right here in Torrance.
I want to leave him, but I just can't do that to the kids.
I keep finding her chatting with this guy online. Even though she says they're friends, something's up.
He tells me it's no big deal, but it hurts so bad when I catch him looking at those pictures.
Stand strong. No matter what you're going through, there is hope at the end of the line.
Focus on the family. How can we help?
Minds can achieve anything. We make sure they get to college. Federal student aid provides more than $150 billion in grants, loans, and work-study funds to make college possible for anyone with the mind to get there. Because if given the chance, minds will do great things. Federal Student Aid, proud sponsor of the American Mind. Learn more about money for college at studentaid.gov.
Hello and welcome back to the Sports Desk. We're cruising on over now to track and field. We've left off pointing out that all of Torrance's postseason hopes are wrapped up for team sports, but on the track, that hasn't stopped individual athletes from chasing after their own goals. 2 such athletes are South's Kimberly Kosha and Danielle Shanahan of Bishop Montgomery. Shanahan is Bishop's cross-country and track standout, headed to run at LMU next year, while Kosha is an underclassman on fire at South. Both set out this spring with standards in mind for what they'd accomplish in CIF competition and beyond. The beyond part, of course, being Masters, the golden standard, the best of the best in prep track and field.
2 girls came to Cerritos College for the CIF Southern Section Masters meet, one a sophomore, the other a senior, both with untapped potential. The 3,200-meter race, the longest at the prep level, does everything to test your will. How long can you go and at what pace? For Bishop Montgomery senior Danielle Shanahan and South sophomore Kimberly Kosha, the test is more of a pop quiz. Both are newbies at the event, which has both hurt and helped their rise. Due to their inexperience, it's easy to understand why in each race they've upped the ante, growing increasingly stronger with each race delivering personal bests after PR. The Masters meet was no different. Shanahan came into the meet with the 3rd fastest time in the Southern section, a feat she accomplished at the previous meet. Kosha also broke another PR at the race, touting the section's 6th fastest time. The 2 ran different races, with Shanahan staying with the leader while Kosha stayed behind and quietly inched her way up. By the last lap, the 2 were in 2nd and 3rd, obliterating their best by over 10 seconds. What's left for the Torrance duo is yet to be determined, but both said they hope to ace their last test. For the Sports Desk, I'm Vi Salas.
Thanks, Vi. And like any other sport, if you want to compete at a master's level of competition, many athletes need to get started as early as possible. Learning the mechanics and technique from a volleyball coach for your aspiring 8-year-old can be one thing, but finding an expert or an event where young athletes can be exposed to track and field on a competitive level, not so easy. So, led by West High's Jason Druten, the Torrance Youth Legends track meet is offering that exact opportunity to build the future of track and field in the South Bay. Here in the South Bay, we've seen plenty of grassroots events rise to the status of community pillar. On the track, Coach Jason Druten is simply taking that same grand vision and sharing his sport with the youth of our community.
This is a great event because, number one, it exposes the kids to track and field, which isn't that popular at younger ages. Number two is we have a generation of Nintendo and Atari and I guess what is the new one? Sega 64, whatever it is, or the computers. We're getting them out of the computer desk, out on the track. They're competing, they're having fun, and they're learning that running isn't just punishment, it's a great time.
I love Coach Druten's program. It gets a lot of kids out here, very excited, they love it. Most of the parents come out here, have a great time. You know, it's just a very fun family event. Gets them started early. You know, it's just a good time. From the little guys, the kindergartners, all the way up to the 8th graders, getting them ready for high school.
This year marks the introduction of the Youth Legends. Every participant is acknowledged and celebrated with the top 3 in an event medaling in this year's 3 meets. But the vision for what's to come is even greater. 3 meets each spring, 2 in the summer, and eventually beyond just the South Bay with an all-area LA County, then SoCal Regional meet someday.
Well, I like running track, it's fun. And I do many other sports, but this one's the funnest one. But I have to thank my dad because he made track more fun by bringing me out here to West High.
I feel like it's pretty good getting a lot of people out to exercise, get ready for next year, next month, stuff like that, next meets.
One undeniable part of the Legends' energy is the concept that everyone here wins. Athletes compete where they thrive, and track and field combines individual with team accomplishments. When you talk about it like that, one might think this takes away the competitive nature we're used to in most sports. In high school, participants aren't at risk of being cut from teams as they would in most sports, allowing teams to grow and giving students opportunity regardless of where they start. So the lesson here at Legends that participation is a victory is simply a head start in what Coach Druten and his staff believe is the true value of track and field sports. Competing against yourself and winning is just as valuable as competing against others. All right, so with one final Youth Legends meet coming up, like Coach Druten told us, the whole city is invited out. June 1st at 9 a.m., West High is hosting another youth track meet. It costs just $5 for athletes and spectators. Kids under 5 years old are free, so bring the whole family out and have a grand old time. Any questions, you can contact Jason Druten at 310-701-8923 or email druten@outlook.com. And a huge thanks goes out to Coach Druten as well as Dan Matsumoto, who had a huge role in helping the Sports Desk share the Legends story with the rest of the South Bay. Okay, everybody, time for another break, but when we come back, the Sports Desk is invited into the home of an NBA Hall of Famer, and we're going to get our first look at the El Camino Warriors football team. That's right, I said it, the football team out and about, hard at work to make sure they get back on track after last year's 8-loss season. See you after the break.
This could be a bicycle. Or a bat. This could be a robot. Or an airplane. This could be a playground. This could be a book bag.
Or a soccer ball.
This could be a book. This could be beautiful. This cannot be trash. This can all be recycled. Learn more at thiscouldbe.org.
They fought for social change. They fought against tyrants. They fought for human rights. Yet behind these achievements are individuals who waged a more personal war. They fought the struggle against mental illness, and they won.
We are this close.
We're this close.
We are this close. Of wanting
to making history. This close to changing the world.
We are this close.
This close. This close to making sure no child suffers a crippling disease
ever again.
This close. We are this close to ending polio.
Ending polio. All we need is you.
This close.
If we don't act now, we may lose this chance forever. Help Rotary make history at endpolionow.org.
Hey there, Torrance. Welcome back with us here on the Sports Desk. So, all this talk about CIF championships and state title hunts and all that, what would some of you do for a real championship ring? The Super Bowl, the World Series, and NBA Finals champions are all famous for the reward their athletes are given after winning the granddaddy of their sport. They're elaborate, they're flashy, and clearly Very expensive, but most importantly, they're a piece of their team and their sports history. So, again, what would you be willing to spend to own a piece of Laker history?
How many of you out there would love to be the new owners of this 2010 Lakers championship ring? This beautiful ring, decked out with diamonds, 2 gold Larry O'Brien trophies representing 2 back-to-back titles, and the final score of the Lakers' 83-79 Game 7 victory over the Boston Celtics on the side of the ring, could be yours for only $10. I sat down with Joy Sharman, the wife of retired NBA player and coach Bill Sharman, who is just one of 3 people to be inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame as both a player and coach, to find out about this online ring raffle, which benefits local charities.
As many charities and foundations are struggling these days with the economy, my husband and I have always been involved with different charitable foundations, and particularly with focus on at-risk youth. And so this was our way. We wanted to reach as many people as possible, and this was our way of trying to do that by raffling my husband's 2010 championship Lakers ring. It's a magnificent piece of Lakers history, and it's an opportunity for the everyday man to own this because it's only $2 a ticket with a minimum of 5 tickets. So we're hoping to do very well.
Proceeds from the online raffle go to 8 different charities, including the Providence Trinity Care Hospice Foundation here in Torrance.
We have the Providence Trinity Care Hospice, which was the first hospice care for children in the United States. And they do a wonderful job, and we're very proud to be affiliated with them as well.
A few of the other charities this ring raffle represents is the James Worthy Foundation, which also works with at-risk youth and has a big focus on military veterans to make sure they have the tools they need to be successful when they return from different military services, and the Excel University Foundation, founded by Lakers forward Meta World Peace, who was also the inspiration for this Bill's Ring of Hope raffle.
Our inspiration for doing that was Meta World Peace. He raffled his ring right when the Lakers won the 2010 championship, and so we thought that we would follow suit, and so we're hoping to have great success.
So what are some of the other prizes you can win along with the ring?
Along with the ring, if they're local, they get to come to a Lakers game, a premium Lakers game with great seats, have lunch with Bill Sharman, and maybe we can convince James Worthy or Meta to have lunch also. And we also pay for the expenses if they're from out of town to fly in and a hotel. And we also pay the taxes on the ring.
As we all know, Bill Sharman has more than one championship ring, but this one is the most important to both him and his wife.
This particular ring, which I have on, we decided on this one because it's one of the most important to both my husband and myself. It's the last championship under Coach Phil Jackson, and it's also the last championship under our beloved Dr. Jerry Buss. And it was also the championship over the dreaded Boston Celtics.
Bill Sharman coached the Los Angeles Lakers for 5 seasons. During his career, he had the opportunity to coach 8 different Hall of Famers, including Wilt Chamberlain, Jerry West, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Gail Goodrich, and Rick Barry. He is the innovator of the shoot-around, which is now used by every team in the NBA, and he also helped design the three-point shot.
I just really urge Lakers fans to please buy your raffle tickets. It's $2 a ticket. It's $10. If we had 100,000 people buy the $10 ticket, we would raise $1 million, and we would be we're so grateful to anyone that would participate in this. Not only do you have a chance to win this spectacular ring and go to a game and have a great experience, but you'd be making a difference in life, and that's what this is all about. Bill's Ring of Hope.
Thanks for that, Brittany. So the raffle has been open since April, but is still running until the evening of June 7th. Here's how it works. Each ticket costs $2 with a minimum purchase of 5 tickets. The winner is going to get the ring from that 2010 championship season, but also a pair of tickets to a game next year, up to $4,000 in travel expenses, and over $8,000 in cash. That's going to go to the IRS to offset any of the tax liability that comes with winning. Now, I went to journalism school, not a math major, but I can add this all up and it makes sense. $10 cost with a fair market value of just under $19,000 for whoever wins this raffle next month, and it's all going to charity. BillsRingofHope.com is where you can get involved. Speaking of champions, with the exception of last fall, we're pretty used to seeing the El Camino Warriors football team dominate. 2012 was not their season, though, to say the least. With the addition of a highly ranked QB recruit in Jesse Scroggins, it was easy to expect the Warriors to continue their high-powered offensive ways and roll through another winning season at Murdoch Stadium. Not so much. Elko won just 3 games, so next year's squad is at it once again, working to make sure their losing season is as far behind them as possible. Jenny Phillips has that story.
Football is usually associated with the fall season, but here at El Camino College, spring ball is what really counts. Coach Featherstone preaches that championships are won in the spring, and after a disappointing season last year, this Warrior team is clearly buying in. Older, humbled, and more mature, the Warriors are putting in their hard work now.
I'm really excited about this year. We've got a lot of guys who really come out here and want to work every day. We're constantly competing, really going at it in drills. I think it's going to be a really good year.
Most of these guys have jobs and things to do, but they sacrifice their time just to be here, just to get a good season going on next year.
The fact that it's so many people out here trying to get better and trying to work hard is kind of showing the difference between this team this year and the team we had last year. More dedication, more discipline, and more focus.
And with last season still fresh in their minds, the Warriors are motivated to work hard and turn things around for the upcoming season.
So many great years and so many championships and bowl games. When you have a little bit of a down season, it makes you appreciate all those great years. So our kids have come out and worked so hard this spring, lifting, conditioning, practicing twice a week. And I see a really great group of kids that really love playing football with each other.
We in the weight room. We out here practicing hard, preparing for the season this year. Be stronger, bigger, faster, and better than last year.
The majority of us were all freshmen last year, so we were a very, very young team. And now we're all veterans, so we understand what we have to do. We understand the game speed. We understand what it takes to be good, because we did have 8 losses last year, so we know what not to do. And now we're just trying to reverse it so we can win this season.
We were all disappointed last year. I feel like there was a feeling of entitlement in the team, because we were great the year before. Whereas this year, that's not the case at all. We were humbled a little bit, and we realized that you need to put in the work to get the results, which is exactly what we're doing right now.
While the Warriors now have depth all over their roster, they're especially excited to return veteran quarterback Cole Webb, who was out last season with an injury.
A quarterback back, that helps a lot. We got a lot of people returning on defense that didn't get to play last year. We should do a lot better.
It's just great to be able to run through things and go full speed again, and just great being out here with the guys.
With all the dedication and hard work this team is putting in now, the Warriors are very optimistic for the upcoming season.
Last year we didn't have a lot of maturity, so we're just going to bring it out this year. And practice was going good. A lot of maturity has came to the field. Everyone's motivated for the season.
We have a really, really special group of guys out here this year, and we can do a lot of damage.
We got a little chip on our shoulder this year. We want to prove to people that we will be back. And last year was just one of those years.
Get ready for an exciting season of Warriors football. From El Camino College, I'm Jenny Phillips for the Sports Desk.
Thanks for that, Jenny. So, who else is looking to make next season their best ever? Call us up, put the word out so we can show the rest of the South Bay how hard athletes have to work in the off-season to have success on the field come game time. Same old email, same old phone number. You always know where and how to get a hold of us right here at the Sports Desk. All right, everybody, that wraps it up for us this week. We will see you next time right here on the Sports Desk.